Hi guys, today I'm going to do a quick video going through the various similarities and differences between the iPhone X and the Samsung Galaxy S8. To start with, apart from the high-end build quality with glass on the back and metal bands around the edges and water resistance, these two flagship smartphones have the exact same sized Super AMOLED display at 5.8 inches, which looks stunning on both the devices. Even though the devices are of the same size, the Galaxy S8 manages to have a higher resolution and more pixels per inch compared to the iPhone X. Overall, both the displays look absolutely gorgeous. However, I like the design of the Galaxy S8 more appealing, but then that's just a personal choice, and it's not that the notch on the iPhone X is really noticeable or obstructive during regular use. Coming to the audio part, the Galaxy S8 retains the headphone jack but sports only a mono speaker, while the iPhone X has dual stereo speakers to make up for the absence of the headphone jack. Now let's talk about the internals a bit. The iPhone X sports a hexa-core A11 Bionic processor coupled with 3GB of RAM and options for 64 or 256GB of internal storage, while the Galaxy S8 sports an octa-core Snapdragon 835 processor coupled with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, along with a microSD card slot which can hold up to 256GB of memory. Even though both phones are fast, the iPhone X has some record-breaking benchmarks on its side, as you can see. This helps in providing the best gameplay experience so far as compared to any other smartphone. Back to the look and feel, the iPhone X weighs 174 grams, whereas the Galaxy S8 weighs only 155 grams. So this isn't really the lightest or the thinnest iPhone right now. On the software part, both the phones run the respective latest versions of the iOS and Android respectively. So it's the question between iOS and Android, and for most people, it's ultimately about personal preferences. If you're already in love with Android, Galaxy S8 is your ultimate phone, and if you're in love with iOS, then iPhone X is the best you can get. Now coming to the camera, the Galaxy S8 sports a 12-megapixel rear camera with an f1.7 aperture lens, while the iPhone X sports a dual 12-megapixel camera setup, with one camera having a wide-angle lens with an aperture of f1.8 and the other having a telephoto lens with an aperture of f2.4. They both take extremely amazing pictures, and it's very difficult to say which camera takes the better pictures, but with the iPhone X, you also have the possibility of getting 2x optical zoom, which is not present on the Galaxy S8. On the video side, the iPhone X has an option of recording 4K video at 60 frames per second, while the Galaxy S8 can only record 4K at 30 frames per second. It's also possible to record 1080p videos at 240 frames per second on the iPhone X, whereas the Galaxy S8 has the same 240 fps but at a lower 720p resolution. As for the front camera, the iPhone X has a 7-megapixel front-facing camera, while the Galaxy S8 has an 8-megapixel front-facing camera. Both will do a phenomenal job at taking selfies. Overall, I would say that both phones are super amazing, and it's very tough to decide the better one among these two. So let me know in the comments which is your favorite smartphone. Is it the Galaxy S8 or is it the iPhone X? And I'll be back soon with another review. Stay tuned.